Yeah. Up in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Viber got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on the daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Vibra's the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vibraville. Hope you had a great day. And man, another day of just nothing going on. Waiting, wondering, is it over? Are we going to get a pump this year, a Santa rally? Is it not going to happen? No one knows. That's why I don't even give a shit anymore. I know I hold the right assets for the future, that at some point they're going to be adopted at scale. They're going to go up massively in value. So you just got to get yourself at that point. But tonight we're going to be talking about Pulsechain, and no one better than my man Fast Abdul to talk about it with. How's it going, sir?
Not bad. It's been a busy week. Lots going on. Definitely lots to talk about. Not all happy, but I think it's moving towards happy and not financial advice.
Yeah, definitely. And I always say 2 more weeks. That's the meme around here. So 2 more weeks, we're gonna start pumping. Things are gonna start turning around on the chain, and then we'll go from there.
I think this time we do have some dates on the calendar, and dates on the calendar is my preferred investment mechanism versus charting and all that. I know that the charts are partly voodoo and mysticism and partly skill, and I don't do that myself. I get that info from other people who are better at it. But we do have some dates coming up where it's like, okay, something's going to happen on this day. How are people going to react? And that I can get my mind around that a little better.
Yep, definitely. So what do you see coming up here in the future? I know obviously the ProveX sacrifice, we have the rates are just steadily increasing every day. So I've been talking to people, and pretty much no one I know is sacrificing now. They're all done. They did it earlier because it's like 6% a day. So you wait 3-4 days, that's 25% difference from
6.25% a day compounding. Right.
Yeah.
So if I look at the site now, here, let me update to make sure I have the fresh data. So right now it's at 1.3540 for 10,000 points. So it started at $1, so it's like 35% worse now. Tomorrow it's up over 43%, right? And it gets worse and worse, right? By the middle of the month here, like what is it, by the 15th? Yeah, it's up. Yeah, like
$2.33.
Exactly. Yeah, so 233% worse than it is right now. Yeah.
Wow. So bro, no one's gonna. It's done, bro. Like no one's gonna be doing it unless people are like, I really missed it. I'm gonna throw $100 at it just in case. Or at that point, it's like just wait till it comes out and buy the dip.
Oh, totally. Like it's trickling up still. Like if you scroll up, we'll see the total of where she's at so far.
Where?
It's right on the top of that screen, I think, if you scroll up. Oh, there we go. 15.85 million. And I think on the last day of the best rate, like 5 days ago, it was around 13 million, right? So it's like it's steadily slowing down. Eventually to be down to like 100 to 1,000 bucks a day. In the last 5-6 days of the sacrifice period. The big thing to me and why these dates and these rate increases are important is because a lot of people sold core assets on Pulsechain like Hex, Pulse, Inc, PulseX, etc., in order to participate in the sacrifice, because none of those Pulsechain assets are accepted in the sacrifice. So they had to make a choice by design, we suspect, right? In order to participate, if that's what you were holding was Pulsechain assets, like you had to decide to sell some. So I've seen a post. I put a post from Crypto Solve in the nest here. He speculated, and he's like a guy who does like on-chain analysis, basically, right? So he's like a wallet watcher at the lowest level, but really like he's following like connecting all the dots, right? So he like can kind of verify that 2 to 3 million for sure went into the sacrifice. And when he did this post, it was at 13.5 million, right? So now it's a little bit higher, but he in the end, he estimates here that about 5 million probably came from people selling Pulsechain assets in the sacrifice. And $5 million right now is a ton of sell pressure, right? So are we still experiencing some of that sell pressure? Probably, but it's less and less each day that sacrifice rate ticks up. Once it gets over 200% worse than the starting rate, like who's going to take that bet, right? Like you said, just wait and buy the dip, right? So I think some people are probably still doing it now, but like doing it a week from now, this just seems kind of stupid.
Bro, we went from 2 days ago 180,000, yesterday 131,000, and then today so far $4,700. So bro, it's dropped
Yeah.
off a cliff.
And even if that $4,000 was 100% sell pressure on core assets, like we can maintain that, right? Like that's
Bro,
not a
that's
big
nothing.
deal, right?
Yeah.
But like the initial $5 million plus, probably 6 or 7 by now, I would imagine, of sell pressure, like that hurt the price. But like when we look at the past and what Richard's done when he's doing brags about Hex, right? 10,000x. Like 10,000x isn't calculated from the launch price of Hex. It's calculated from the all-time low. And we have all-time lows, new all-time lows on Pulsechain assets now because of the ProveX sacrifice, in my opinion. There's other contributing macro factors to Bitcoin. You probably heard of that. This Ethereum thing people talk about, but I think this was a major push towards the all-time lows, possibly intentionally by Richard, in order to get better numbers to pump from and to shake some weak hands out. Some people are just pissed off. They didn't like this, so they left. And some people left to go into the sacrifice to get into the next thing, which I think was more of a whale trap than a pleb trap, as far as like getting those whales to sell those assets because of that big boost, 3x boost for whales, for the biggest sacrificer that is part of the sacrifice, which is even a bigger boost for whales than the PulseX and Pulse sacrifice had at 2.5x. So it's like, I think this is a bit of a trap designed to shake some whales out. And we didn't maybe get the biggest whales out, but like we know Rackham sacked $300,000. I think he's wallet number 2. And the wallet number 1 is a pool that's full of probably a bunch of whales. Buck and Dylan and the PH team are behind that. So like, yeah, probably Richard accomplished a chunk of his goal. The fact that it's still so low at $50 million just means that the job is pretty much done already. Like, not very many more people are getting shaken out of the Pulsechain at this point. So there's a lot of like ride or die fans right now.
Bro, yeah, bro, and that's the thing, dude. Like, they're at this point right now, I mean, how many more people were there really to shake out? Like, he did this at a point where it was going to be kind of I don't know what the word is. It was gonna cause a fire, And certain people are going to freak out. And how dare you ever do this again? We learned down so much money and you're going to do another sacrifice. You are just a scammer now. And
yeah, and we've seen some people who even like, and it's like people who were saying bad things before kept saying bad things, but we've seen some people turn a corner basically at the moment he announced the sacrifice, where they were supporters despite all the issues. But then that was like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? Was the ProveX sacrifice being announced instead of Richard pumping the price or whatever they want him to do. He said exactly what they didn't want him to say, and he said it exactly in the way that they did not want him to say it, with a volume bonus for whales, and those kind of things. So I think, like, yeah, there is definitely a shakeout element, which I don't like on a personal level. Like, I can't imagine doing that to one of my communities. But like from Richard's perspective, I get it. I understand. It's just it's kind of harsh.
yeah, but I mean, it's just it's just people that are over leveraged, bro. That's all. And they're just bitter and they're the loudest ones, because anyone that has steady income that's just putting money in that they can afford to lose or afford to just wait a couple years on if they need to be, however long, and just slowly keep building positions in crypto, zoom out. Like, there's nothing wrong with anything. You put in what you can afford, and it just really separates. It shows people's true colors and where they're at financially, because there's no reason to freak out over any of this. Like, if you're emotionally sound or financially stable and emotionally stable, you're gonna it's whatever. Has a new project. This is probably a better opportunity because everyone and their mother wanted to get into Pulse and PulseX's sacrifice, because Hex just did a 10,000x, and now Pulse and PulseX haven't done shit. So people are running from this one. So this is, if I kind of wish I had more money for this one, but I'm not gonna sell coins at the bottom or do something stupid to get into a sacrifice. Like, it's not the time. You put in what you can and move on. It's not the end of the world.
By design that it's like only $50 million. Like, like if Richard really wanted to pump this thing, he could have done it very different. He did one video pre-recorded that he released on the last day in the final hours of the best rate, right? Like, he had like 4 hours after his video, that was, kind of like lukewarm as far as pushing people to sacrifice. And that was like the only video he's officially launched on ProveX. Like, he did not live stream. He has not been pushing this hard. He's like calling it in on purpose. So we have this low valuation based on that. So, like, yeah, it could be it will be the cheapest like market cap Richard Hart coin according to the data that I can see here at the moment, right? Like, now there will be something that I think will happen in the last 5 days of the sacrifice, and that we've seen happen on the Pulsechain and Pulse sacrifices, is that the OA, basically Richard, from most people's perspectives, will come in and sacrifice many millions in the last 5 days to take up the majority of the coins. Like 90 to 95% of the coins will probably end up with the OA, which in my mind is generally bullish, in that the OA doesn't seem to sell coins and sometimes buys them. So, like, it's a control thing, it's a market cap thing, it's an advertising thing to somebody, probably negative to others, but I think to the community in general, that's usually accepted. And the reason I say the last 5 days, like if you scroll through the chart there, you'll see that the volume bonus disappears in the last 5 days, meaning that other people who participated would still get their volume bonus against each other, and the OA could still have the majority of the coins, right? So it'd be like, okay, the only thing I really care about then is how many coins do I get versus the next guy per dollar I put in, not versus Richard. I don't care how many coins he has, right? He could play it another way and not do that, and that would be interesting too. But then it would almost be too many coins just in the hands of the participants. I think if the OA had 90% and 10% went to everybody else, that would probably be better for price action, at least in the short term.
Yeah, for sure. And bro, if right now like today, if we end up getting like $10,000 that comes in, and then it ends up being like 2K, $800, and we go the next like 15 days where there's nothing over $1,000, I wouldn't be surprised if Richard comes in around here because no one else is coming in.
Yep. Yeah, no, exactly.
So this is cool. I mean, it's over on January 9th. When do you think that this will launch? You have any clue, or give me a number out of your ass if or something?
Actually, I think we can do better than that. So so what's the last sacrifice date? Is January 9th, right?
Yeah. 1/9.
Which is incidentally the anniversary of the last time Richard did a live stream and it's the regular day for Maddie's annual Hex conference. So I think some of these dates are coincidental, perhaps, but the day that the last day for the best rate happened to be Hex's birthday as well, for example. So maybe these dates mean something. If you go to X and you go to the ProveX Twitter account, so it's ProveX.com, I believe. Let me double check. So that account is for sure run by Richard. Yeah, ProveX.com. So we can see in that very first post, pretty much the only post. So he says there, I got to zoom in because I'm old. Okay. The token itself can exist before the infrastructure that burns it is fully operational, right? The token can launch shortly after the sacrifice phase is complete. So he says that it can launch like pretty much right after the sacrifice, and it can launch before the code behind the protocol is live, right? So which is fine. I kind of feel like he stole my idea because that's what I did with the Vault token, but it is a reasonable concept. Like, yeah, the token could launch right away. So that means the only thing stopping him from launching it right on the 10th of January is properly calculating who sacrificed and how much and all those details. But which on Pulsechain, for example, with $1 billion sacrifice, right? Like 200 times more than will likely be sacrificed for ProveX. That probably took quite a while, right? Like you had 100,000 plus wallets or something. With ProveX, many fewer wallets, right? I think it's less than 20,000, and a much smaller dollar figure. Like I can figure this out myself with a Excel spreadsheet in like probably 2 days, right? Something like that. So like if he's doing it or getting somebody else to do it and double, triple check it, be really careful. Maybe a week. Right. So we have the 9th, add 7 days to that, 16th, 17th of January. So like middle of the month, maybe the 15th would be a good day, right? Like right after people get a paycheck, he could be launching ProveX.
I want to say there was like 4,400, 12,000 total sacrifices now. But there was like, I was looking, there was only like 3,000 of them that were over $3.
Right. And some people are like, I remember in the last sacrifices, some people spam tiny sacrifices with wallets looking for like some sort of airdrop. Bro. And like, just don't do that, people. It's a terrible plan. Like it didn't work with Pulsechain stuff. Like there was never a good airdrop attached to that. You're probably just exposing yourself to scammers sending you scam tokens because, like, yeah, all these wallet addresses are public. Doesn't mean they can hack you or anything like that, but like, and you're just making extra work for somebody, right? You're gonna make it last, an extra day if you send 10,000 wallets in with a penny, right? It's like it won't benefit you, it won't benefit them. So yeah, just skip that. But I don't think it's gonna get to a stupid number. Yeah,
bro, it's done, bro.
Stupid number.
There's $4,000 today. Like it's over. Like there might be another $50,000 max that comes in. Yep. Besides that's not Richard Hart. And like if you look at this, bro, I'm not kidding. I was looking the other day. Like I think it was less. It might have only been like maybe I want to say 900 wallets that had sacrificed over $200. So it's tiny, bro. I mean, but yeah, there's you got to think these guys join the pools, so some of the sacrifices are in there, but dude, it's not that much. There's very few people.
Yep. Totally. Yeah, and a rate, like, he could have it all figured out up to date, for example, and then be like, today there's an extra 4,000, so he only has to figure out an extra $4,000 for the points. Like, it's possible he could have this out like 2 hours after the sacrifice ends, right? So, but that's like, he did hint towards that the protocol wouldn't be live, like the tech wouldn't be there, which is, I don't think it's a terrible thing for price appreciation necessarily, because then people are buying on speculation, right? And I think early speculation is likely to give more than early tech when it's just getting warmed up, especially if it's not feature rich when it first comes out, because there's sort of like a minimum viable product on this, and then there's the upgraded Ferrari version that could really rip out and draw some attention. So, and I'm hoping for the Ferrari version, not the Dodge Caravan version on the final product here.
Yeah.
Not that Dodge Caravans aren't awesome, like extremely efficient vehicle. I can fit 8 pieces of plywood in there. It's better than a truck in my opinion, for some things. But yeah, Ferrari is what you want for a Richard Hart token, Richard Hart protocol.
Yeah, bro, it's gonna come out with just a token so people can trade it and pump it or whatever, and then whenever he launches the protocol, cool, and everything behind it, like that's awesome. But people just want their token, they want to trade and make money on it, and it's crazy how desperate people are.
Totally, and like there's certainly the speculation, right? Like a lot of people who are sacrificing are probably thinking they're going to sell on a 2x, they're going to sell on a 3x. And that maybe that's the play. Maybe it's not the play. Maybe you're better waiting to buy the dip. Like there's a lot of 100% speculation here, or maybe it never dips, right? Or Richard lets it dip after a 2x. And then like it's going to be low market cap, which is one of the strategies here. Like maybe it does 100x on day 2 or day 3. Like all these things are possible, but like none of them are guaranteed, right? So at this point, not sacrificing, valid choice. I think if you put in a little bit, like what you could afford, and that helps you sleep at night, like moderation, right? Like you DCA'd a little bit into the sacrifice. That sounds like a comfortable play. Richard to me, he was kind of implying both with things he said and with things he did, like not letting people sacrifice Pulsechain or core assets, no hex, no pulse, etc. That like maybe we weren't supposed to sell our core tokens to get into this sacrifice. Maybe that was a bad play, right? So I think there's so many ways this can go that moderation seems like the only reasonable choice. Do a little bit, but don't go all in.
Bro, selling anything, core tokens, any altcoin, anything that you had been holding at this point of the cycle, you had conviction in, you bought for a reason. To sell it at the absolute bottom like this for a sacrifice when this might not even come out for a freaking year. So what if the coins you sold down here at the bottom pump like crazy in 4 months and this doesn't come out for 8 months and you just lost all that pump right there? And I was telling everybody that was asking me questions, what are you doing? I said, I'm not selling one coin down here at the bottom to sacrifice for this. And I ended up selling not Pokemon cards, but a different game. I had like a kit that I bought a couple years ago for $600, and I actually paid in Cardano, and it was over I think it was like $1.16 at the time, and now it's like 40 cents or something like that. So I actually got $700 for it, and after fees and whatever, it was like $610, which was pretty cool. So that was pretty much my sacrifice for ProveX.
Yeah, no, I think that's good because we really don't know if he's going to be pumping ProveX, if he's going to be pumping other Pulsechain things. But certainly a strategy, if I was him, would have been to do what he did, to get like the people who are going to sell anyway to sell, to get into this. And then maybe while they're locked up in there, that's a great time to pump, Pulsechain assets at the lowest price.
Yeah.
Like when Richard points back to the chart and says like, oh, look, we pumped all-time highs from here. We did a 10,000x. He might be pointing at like yesterday's price, right? Like, so do you want to be the guy who made the bottom on that day? I do not.
No, bro. It's so bad, man. And if you, especially for people that have been around here since the last sacrifice, if you're really selling these coins down at this position here, like who have you been listening to and surrounding yourself with? Because it is the furthest thing from a winning strategy.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a winning strategy to me.
No, if you can't afford to bring new money in to this sacrifice and not sell your freaking tokens at a huge loss, then sit it out. It's okay to miss something. You don't have to get into it just because everyone around you or on the internet makes it seem like they sacrificed. Oh, I had $8,000 in fresh cash just tucked away in my secret spot that I have access to at any point. So, oh yeah, I went balls deep into this one. Most people are full of shit, and I wish I had a lot, but I put $500 into it, and whatever. I'm happy with that.
10,000 times $500, it would be a good number, right? It would be 5 million. Hope
and
that happens.
If when it comes out, if maybe I'll have some money to buy it when it launches and market buy some more tokens. Like, who the hell knows? Like, people are funny.
And in the meantime, like maybe we see a pump on Pulsechain assets, which I think with the sacrifice rates changing, we're going to see a moderate, like community driven pump of just people buying back in. At the very least, people not selling to go into the sacrifice. And then like obviously what happens in macro, Bitcoin, Ethereum, like that's going to matter. We know that the sack bags are still out there, like $750+ million that's gone through Tornado Cash, that Richard showed us went through Tornado Cash. Like he doesn't want us to stop thinking about that. He was very obvious. So I think like there is stupid potential for all Pulsechain assets. ProveX won't hurt our chances. It can only help our chances if it's done correctly. And I feel like the big man has a plan.
Yeah, 100%. He's got a plan. He's got so much money. He has the ability to do what he wants, and the liquidity is so thin that it takes such a small amount to do huge things. He knows that. We all know that, and it's like, guys, new people here, I feel bad for people that have been manipulated or lied to or following the wrong people that are leading them astray, because it's a savage market. It's a bunch of sharks out here. You're swimming in the deep end.
Out, right? Like the influencers, the KOLs, like there's fewer and fewer, like they're dropping off or they're giving up or just disappearing, right? And like the same people who streamed through the entire bear mostly are still here. The ones who just come out in the good times are mostly gone. And we have lost some of the, the OGs who stream through the bear too. So like there's fewer and fewer choices for who to watch, who to listen to. And I think that's a good thing. I think it is getting narrowed out to, who the true believers are and who the ones who have conviction or aren't running some sort of exit scam, which is also extremely common, are at this time. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, 100%. And the bear market, and when things are great, everybody is friends and everyone's cool. But when the opposite happens and things get bad, and then things get real bad, and then they get even worse, people's true colors come out, and you could see who people really are, who's still here doing the same thing, or who's here scamming people, who's here lying, manipulating people. Like, people's true colors really came out when things got bad. And it really is eye-opening to see people you thought were a certain way. The second things got bad, It was not. It was a different person now.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Though, like, I think we need to give people grace. You know, like some people, like it. You know, they're just quiet because it's better to say nothing than bad things, and they're doing that for the community, right? Like, rather than explode because I feel broken, I'm just going to say nothing. Is completely a valid choice, and I wish more people would take that choice. And the people who are actually angry and now fighting their own bags, which is a terrible strategy. Like I totally get that too, right? Like it's like I'm gonna give those people grace as much as I can. If they include me in their fight or they attack my posts and stuff like that, like yeah, they're gonna get blocked. But like if somebody's just having a bad day, right? Like it's like or a bad month because like stuff's been hard. Like I get it. Like you'll get a pass. There'll be an amnesty period. Hopefully Richard also institutes an amnesty period. He's banned many people, I'm sure. When things are good again, right? Because like human emotion is a thing. We're human. If you don't have emotions, you're probably a sociopath. So yeah, I get it. It's cool.
Yeah, bro. It's so funny too because it's like Corey Costa. He's freaking out, called with Richard, all this shit. It's like, bro, you love Charles Hoskinson. How's Cardano doing? Just as bad. Oh yeah, Corey, you also loved what other coin was it? Like I forget what altcoin, not Telcoin, but it was one of the other small coins over there, not Harmony.
Yeah.
Or Phantom.
There we go.
And it's like Phantom is doing just as bad. And so all these different projects that he talked about outside Pulsechain, they're all doing just as bad. So why the fuck are you over here going crazy, pointing at Richard and not freaking out on Charles and freaking out about Phantom and freaking out about Cardano and the other shit coins you're in that are crashing too? So it's like, why are you only pointing the finger one way? The hypocrisy here is just crazy, bro.
I'm with you, and I think like Corey's one of the guys that in my mind gets a pass. I'd like to see him have a little more journalistic integrity because that was sort of in my head. That was his position on the Pulsechain, right? Is like he approached things like a journalist, right? Like he wasn't too positive or negative. So I hope he gets that back. But like he's put in his time, and he's having a bad month, and he was kind of like, honestly, like I think he's doing what he was supposed to do. Like he had interactions with Richard, and Richard was a dick to him. And and now Corey's like spreading FUD. Is that what Richard wanted to happen? Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know if Richard, I think Richard just gets sick of the people that were supposed to be having his back doing the polar opposite and acting so emotional. It's like, Corey, just give the man some time. Like it'd be one thing if all of the market was pumping and we were just doing nothing. If everything was, all these other communities, they were thriving, they were up 10, 20x, and we were just in the shitter doing nothing. But that's not the freaking case. So why is every other coin not held account, or community or project you're in that's down not held with this same at the same anger or same bitterness? Like you can't just selectively choose which ones you're gonna hate when they're all down the same. So
I'm with you, but like I think the difference with Pulsechain, especially with Richard basically coming back right out of being silent for 2 years, like being on Twitter actively responding to people, like is you now have someone to cry to. And even when Richard wasn't there, we have so many active KOLs that you always had someone to cry to with Pulsechain, right? So like in like I get it, you get it, right? Like it's like if you can't attack Richard, you'll attack whoever's on the screen today. And sometimes they show up in the YouTube chat, like the fudders, right? Because they have an audience for their FUD. If you take away the audience for the FUD, like where do I complain about Cardano? Like I guess I can complain to Charles until he blocks me, but like you don't have as many people, as many eyeballs on your FUD for whatever kick you get out of doing that, right? So, it's I think that's part of it. But like I think with Corey, it's like he's a known quantity, right? Like Richard knows him. He's probably watched him a bunch of times. They've interacted in the past, and like
he's great for the community.
Yeah. So, but like if Richard's doing a shakeout, like I think there's an element of a Twitter shakeout as well, right? Which is like you shake it. Like, what better way to shake people out? And like, I hate this, but I think it's like it's possible. What better way to shake people out than shake out some of the influencers that were positive before? And like not all of them, but like one or two, like start like turning tail and heading the other direction. And like, yeah, people are going to take notice and it's going to affect the price. So like, I think in some ways with an example like that, Richard got what he asked for. And it may be serving his purpose, even though I hate it.
I mean, bro, like he's not trying to shake out Corey, guys like that. Like Corey is, I'm not trying to attack Corey at all. Like I really like Corey. I still follow him.
Yeah.
I still try to support him. And I think he'll do with his interviews, and he does great things for Pulsechain. He's positive,
Yeah.
and
In some
we're
ways,
just
he's still positive, like he's
yeah,
positive about me anyway, because I treat him
yeah,
with respect. So
yeah,
it
exactly.
really
And
depends.
that like Richard's not trying to shake him out, bro. It's more the guys like Funding Jim that are out there that are talking out what talking all this game like they're out there trying to onboard the world, and then the
Yeah.
second they can shit talk him, they trash him, they dump and they leave, and but they have actual big money. And like guys like that, and people that have are that are kind of holding Hex hostage in a sense. Those guys, I think, are the ones he's trying to shake out, and it's hard to do. Like the little guys, they don't shaking out Corey. Like, what are you gonna do? What's he got? 20 T shares? Like, okay, what's I gonna? That's nothing. He needs to get rid of the guys that are the major extractors, the ones that are actually threats to the chain, and I'm
Well, I'm
sure
with
he's
you. Like that's not Corey's value isn't in his his bags. Like it's in his influence, right? So
right.
like it like the total shakeout it can like from losing one influencer even temporarily, one especially one that's fairly well thought of, could be substantial. And when we looked at interaction that like where Richard started calling Corey names, if you read what Corey said to Richard, it's just like was just the things that a lot of community members were thinking, reasonably eloquently said, like, but it was like, was it a little bit whiny? Like maybe, but it was like the concerns people had. He brought the concerns, right? And so I think it was like more of an example situation, right? Like, why did he choose Corey? Well, because like Corey's a known commodity. He would do that. Like there would have been probably 1,000 other comments he could have responded to at the same thing, but it made a way bigger impact to do it to Corey. So I think it was like kind of a targeted, like, Corey was the whipping boy that day. And, he carried it fairly well for a little while. He's been posting a lot of pictures of him lifting 600 pounds. I think that's fun. It's like 3 of meat. But oh well. Let's move on. I think we see we get it. Like it's not forever. Probably. I think we'll see Corey come back. I think we'll see a lot of these people come back.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, 100%. And it's just that's why for me, like I love Pulsechain. Like it's where I got my start here, but I need to be in other communities and in like Cubic right now where there's a couple games that are about to launch and everybody is so positive over there and working together. And
Yep.
just getting away from this drama it's refreshing, man, because there are some other really good projects across crypto, and
I think
it's
it's
just,
great you do that. It brings a like bigger audience too. I wish more Pulsechain influencers had the outside audience you have. There's benefit to them and there's a benefit to us.
yeah, it is, bro. Like you can't just go shill a random person, Richard Hart or Pulsechain. Like people think we're this crazy, like insane cult over here. And you need to find common ground with other projects and then realize like, oh yeah, like we like this other thing, and then there's a reason that you guys bonded over that project, and then you figure that out why. Oh, that's why I like Pulsechain, bro, because you like Cubic or this like we do. You would feel the same way with Pulsechain because the message we're going for and being the the chain where we can actually have freedom and use crypto without being tracked and having digital IDs. Like, that's what Pulsechain represents. And when people hear that message after you've already connected with them, then they're like, oh, all right, that's cool, I understand that. And then from there, it's just so much easier. But to just, hit people with, oh yeah, Pulsechain, you haven't heard of us, we're the most decentralized blockchain out there, you didn't know we have flawless uptime. And it's like, oh my fucking God. If someone said that to me, I would turn around and be like, thanks, bro. You get out of my face. Like, go. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, we need some moderate people to reach out, and we are starting to get some more reach. We're getting that. I think ProveX will be one of the methods, and I'm sure that's part of the plan because of what ProveX is. It will allow us to interact with other chains in different ways and give us a reason to talk to other communities to be like, hey guys, check this out. This could work for you. Just because it'll be a tool that by definition will be multi-chain, right? So whether the token's multi-chain or how that works is totally possible, but we don't have those details yet. But like the actual protocol itself, people are going to be using it on multiple chains. They're going to be there. They might hub through Pulsechain sometimes, they might not, but there's definitive reasons to talk to other communities to be like, hey, check out ProveX. We don't even have to talk about Pulsechain, right? You can be like, yeah, look at this ProveX protocol. This allows you to get in and out of crypto from things like Venmo, right? From things like PayPal, right? Like there'll be options where people can skip centralized exchanges, like a zero risk OTC sort of thing, and like that's attractive to people who aren't on Pulsechain, right? So they won't care that it buys and burns a put token on Pulsechain as long as they feel they're getting the best deal using it on Base or wherever they want to use it. So yeah, I did this post today, and this runs through what ProveX actually will probably do. You want me to run through some of the details here?
Yeah, let's just get this question here quick, and then we'll go. We'll get through that.
Sure.
Hey, so I don't know why we need to shake anyone out. Why is it necessary to dump the price 90%? How's this a good thing? I disagree that purposefully dumping the price chart to shit is a good idea and wanted by participants. No, it's not wanted by hodlers. It sucks, but this is something that has to be done. When there's people here that don't believe and they're not here for the long term, they're just here to buy a bag, and as soon as it pumps, get out immediately. You don't want those people. You want them out now versus being in and having coins when the coin starts pumping. And you
don't
need
want
to
people
give
holding for a 2x or a 3x, because then you're not even going to see a 2x or 3x. You're going to see a 1.5x. Like, you want everybody to think it's 10,000x, and then like maybe you get a good exit opportunity at 5,000x. Or maybe there is a 10,000x. Like you need that belief, or the price can't really go up. So like, yeah, it's terrible. It's demoralizing. I would prefer to find a different way, but like on the scale of Pulsechain and the number of tokens, the number of participants, like, yeah, I see the point of doing it. It's like, yeah, it doesn't feel good, and it's hard to be on the screen when shit like that's happening. I get it.
Yeah, but on the other side of it, like Dynex is a project that I'm super bullish on. It's a quantum play. They're going from a crypto to a tokenized security that's going to trade. Or a tokenized stock that's going to trade along other quantum stocks around the world. And that right there, it was like 55 cents a year ago, and when I found it, it was at 2.8 cents. So it was at the rock bottom at 3 cents. And for me, it was an absolute blessing that it was down 98%, because I got to come in and scoop up coins at the bottom where people that I know were buying it at 25 and 40 cents. So I got to load up at 2.8 cents. So for me, that dump was an absolute blessing. It allowed a new holder to come in and a long-term believer to accumulate a position that would have cost back in the day like $25,000, and now I scooped it up for $750 or something like that. So
Yep.
it gives opportunities for new holders to come in. So it does
And you're
suck.
not planning on holding for a 2x, right? Like that's you weren't like,
Exactly.
oh, this is a quick 2x. You're like, okay, I have long-term belief in this project. Maybe there's some utility, some staking options you're interested in, right? Like, you know, some passive income you're interested in. Like
Yep.
that's those are the people who are going to hold things for a long time, which allows the price to go up more for everybody. So it's like, yeah, harsh but necessary, maybe. Yeah, I don't want to say I endorse things that dump the price, but like I see the point, I guess.
It's just how it is, bro. It's the most volatile asset class. Like people get rinsed out hard. People are so emotional, and once you start getting liquidated, you have to sell and dump your other bags to cover losses. So you end up selling positions at rock bottom that you didn't ever want to sell. You were forced to. So a lot of people are very deceptive on why they had to sell their bags. It's like, oh, you got liquidated and or you just kept losing and having to keep throwing more in. So you just kept having to selling off little by little. Next thing you know, you went broke, and then you're freaking out, blaming Richard Hart when you were leverage trading. So it's like, bro, you can't believe half the shit on Twitter, anyways.
Oh, definitively. Yeah. No, Twitter is a cesspool some days. It is the place to go for information, and it is the battleground for crypto, but like, yeah, it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, you did a nice breakdown of ProveX here on Twitter. So if you want to run through it, because
Yeah.
I kind of understand what it is, but I'm sure you have a way deeper knowledge of that and can explain it and break it down a lot more succinctly.
This is just kind of a warm-up post. I didn't get too technical, so not all the answers are here. I don't want to like scare people away. What I plan on doing is doing one post a day for the next 30 days on ProveX and sort of just like soften people up to the concepts and the ideas. But like I'll just paraphrase here like some of the concepts of what ProveX will be, right? So it's
Yep.
going to be a way to prove things on chain, right? So you'll be able to prove things from like that are connected to money will be the interesting part for most people. Like things that happen at your bank with PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, things like that, right? So like, and when that translates to crypto, it's going to be things like, okay, you sent money from your bank and somebody else put up crypto and you bought that crypto directly from them. You know, no middleman, no centralized exchange, and it will be able to prove that you sent the money, and it will be able to prove that they put up the crypto because it will leave their wallet. And then everybody gets, you know, the math is done and a fair deal is made, right? So, and if the deal doesn't happen, if you put up your crypto, the other guy doesn't send the money, deal gets canceled, you get your crypto back, right? That's the general concept. So, like, it'll be able to verify things like if payments were received, if a wire transfer cleared, if you sent money with PayPal, Venmo, et cetera, and it actually went to where it was supposed to go. Now, people have asked, like, okay, well, how do I know it actually happened and it wasn't just like a fake screenshot? Well, it's not going off of screenshots. Like, so with like apps like PayPal or Venmo, et cetera, there's things that are happening on their servers. Like their servers are cryptographic in their own way, and they have their own verification. So it's not like an interaction between your screenshot and ProveX. It's an interaction between like the PayPal server and the details there and ProveX. So in order for someone to fake that, it would mean that they have to hack PayPal, they have to hack Venmo, right? So, and anything that's accepted as an option is probably going to be something that's reasonably secure. They have to hack your bank. They have to hack the wire transfer infrastructure, right, in order to actually post a fake transaction. So it won't be hackable in a way of like I used Canva to change the numbers on a check and now I stole your crypto. So it's, you know, it's going to always have some risk, but it's minimized even compared to interacting with a centralized exchange, in my opinion. And then when we look at how the world's going with things like digital IDs and stuff like that, it's going to have additional uses where you'll be able to verify somebody's age, where they live, right? Like, is my dev actually from Canada or does he live in India? This is all fake, right? Like, so it like there's going to be total like use cases that don't exist yet, and use cases that do exist that people aren't thinking about but are a huge problem, right? Like, if you need to verify for whatever reason how old you are or where you live, but you don't want to give up your name and address to the person, you just want to verify it so that you can use whatever service, this could be an applicable way, right? So that keeps as much privacy as possible, where you're interacting with a smart contract and you verify some information. But like, it definitely has financial applications that go beyond crypto. But within crypto, the onboarding potential of being able to use this instead of a centralized exchange to get in and out is huge, right? Like in Canada, we have e-transfers where you can send money to a phone number or to an email. Something like that could interact with this, right? Where, you know, the servers would verify that, yeah, this actually happened with real money. And you could move in and out of crypto into Canadian dollars, right? From somebody else's Canadian dollars who wanted to move into crypto. And you wouldn't have to discuss that with anybody else. You wouldn't have to KYC to a centralized exchange. Like there's huge privacy things here that are big, but it totally goes beyond that. But the concept that it's like going to attack centralized exchanges, not decentralized exchanges like Pulsechain, is pretty cool. And could totally be the solution that we've been looking for the gatekeeping that's happened on Pulsechain in particular, but with crypto in general as well. So we have like the OTC trades concepts, right? Like over-the-counter exchanges with zero counterparty risk, real world payments that can trigger something to happen on chain, like money to trade hands, crypto for money, or it could be something else. It could be buying an NFT. It could be, you know, signing any kind of thing that can be made to be an on-chain. So it's going to provide like cross-chain options. Like you could just be moving from Ethereum to Pulsechain or from Ethereum to Solana, and that could be verified via ProveX. And that concept that it's not all about Pulsechain is going to allow us to reach out to these communities. And like, yeah, if you're using something like this once a week to do something on other chains, like are you going to find your way to Pulsechain eventually? Good chance, right? You're like, oh, I use this ProveX thing all the time. It's awesome. There's a ProveX token. It's on Pulsechain and it gets bought and burnt every day. Like, why would I not take a little bit closer look? And also, like, maybe those wallets that end up using it, maybe they end up getting like, some other incentive to come over to Pulsechain. Like maybe you get sent $20 worth of Pulse, and there's an advertisement on the website of like, oh yeah, you use ProveX 5 times, you get $20 worth of Pulse. Come check it out when you have time, right? Like, I know you're on Solana, but like, you do have some Pulse waiting for you to do transactions if you choose, right? So like, there'll be so many avenues where this can lead us to good conversations with people on other chains, and with no coiners even, because this becomes like, how do I get into crypto? And like a lot of like, I think probably a lot in the US, but other places too, there's sort of that movement of like almost an anti-government movement, though that's not the right word, just like a freedom movement of like, controlling your own future and being able to use something like ProveX to like make your own choices. I want to get into crypto. Like I don't want to deal with middlemen. I don't want to tell an exchange my name. I just want to buy crypto with my cash, right? And you'll have an option to like from your bank account, you've already KYC'd your bank. Your bank knows who you are, and then be able to send that money right to whatever chain you want via this tool, right? I think it's going to be a pretty strong concept. So like, this is just the start. There's going to be, I'll post every day about this, and it will get deeper and deeper and deeper. There's all kinds of rabbit holes. There's things people can build stuff on top of this with. I'm working on that already with the Vault 369 protocol. That's, not directly built on top, just using the token for collateral. People can take loans out against ProveX being the concept, but there will be things directly built on top to making it even better. And that's, it's kind of the Wild West, but there's definitely room here for improvement. We may see this being part of like corporate culture, like things like insurance companies will be able to use this for some things to prove that something was sent from A to B. It may lead to more things where people can get paid in crypto in general, right? Like, like you want to get paid in crypto for the sale of your house, like this could work. This would be one of the options. You want to get paid in crypto to sell a car, like this could be a way you do that. So it could be go right from personal interactions, right? Like you want to verify that your Tinder date is really a girl. Maybe ProveX can do that for you, right? There could be some pretty hilarious and very serious applications here.
So what do you think is next from him? You think this a wallet comes after this?
I don't think people want to hear about that right now. I could speculate that like he may do the wallet eventually. There could be some sort of mid-range wallet, like not like your everyday wallet, but just like kind of like your ProveX wallet, like maybe connected to something like Railgun, right? That you would use for this purpose. That could be a concept. I don't think anybody wants to hear about the wallet sacrifice that's going to happen right after the ProveX sacrifice. That would be intense.
I didn't mean a sacrifice. I just think he's gonna launch a wallet along with this at some point. I don't think it'll be a sacrifice. I just think it'll be kind of like a something he's just got planned.
That's possible because he has talked about a wallet in the past. It's interesting actually. He's talked about a wallet in the past, and he's talked about an onboarding method in the past. And he's like, the only things I won't have is a wallet and an onboarding mechanism. Now, this ProveX is the onboarding mechanism, so that's him solving that part of the problem. So the wallet is the only thing left after he launches ProveX to solve that. Now, I could argue that he may not want to launch a wallet because it's like, it's a lot of work, right? Like wallets will require continual maintenance, like KG for Internet Money does a good job. There's other great wallets out there. They require a level of interaction that he may not be interested in unless he does something different, like where it's a special purpose wallet, right? Like it's a wallet meant to work with ProveX and Railgun for like complete privacy, for example. And I could see that being a thing, right? Where it's like, this is a niche wallet for a niche purpose that gets used by many people on many chains, but you still need other wallets. Or even some sort of plugin you can use with other wallets. It could be a thing, right? Where your money flows through the Richard Hart wallet to get private and then ends up in, the Internet Money wallet or whatever wallet you use as your day-to-day trader wallet, right? So, but yeah, I'll need to, do some more research on what the game theory is there. I just feel like, does he want to do the maintenance of a regular wallet and take on that responsibility? I suspect not. We shall see, though.
Yeah, we shall see. And I mean, I just think, what's the other way, to do this right here? Is it just going to be a platform that we tap into, ProveX.com, and that's where everything is done? All these transactions are going to be like a private like OTC desk or something, or is it going to be done in an app? Like I'm not sure how that's why to me I was thinking if you had a wallet where we all had our own private wallet that where the app or everything was installed into, kind of like how we run our own version of PulseX and the bridge, kind of if it was like that when we use ProveX and like it opened up with a wallet integrated into whatever that.
That'd be cool if there's those options. I wouldn't want there to only be that option though, right? Like you have to use this wallet. Like that would be hard for adoption. I think there could be a multi-pronged approach where there was like there was an app like a plugin for Chrome, basically. You should be able to use it on your cell phone, right? Because people have all times of uses. Even though I'm not big on crypto on cell phones, I think that would be that would be cool. And as well as just like a website you can go to. So accessibility is pretty important here. If you're looking for a multi-chain, multi-market reach, you don't want to like pigeonhole it into something where you have to have a special wallet, right? You have to download these special things and understand this technical thing. Like this should be a tool that like new people can interact with. You want to buy crypto? Go to this website, right? Like to have like a way for this to be an onboarding tool possibly the easiest one, that would be cool, right? Where like, oh, you have PayPal, you can use your PayPal here, right? Like that would be cool. Where it's like, yeah, you need a special wallet and you got to do all these things. It'd be cool to have the option like, okay, I want the Richard Hart Ultra Privacy wallet on my ProveX transactions, run through that before I go to my regular wallet. Like that's going to attract the big money people who are technical, right? But we don't want to scare away the new people with it.
No, definitely not.
Details on the site here. There's not a lot of details, but if you scroll right to the bottom, there's one Easter egg that I think is important. So you see, where does it say it? Further down. Keep going down, right to the bottom.
This is the bottom.
That's it? Okay. Here, let me look at the site. No, underneath that, I see a page where it says, you are the network. Let's see, was it updated? Oh, he changed it. Huh, look at that. Okay, there's a link that was removed that led you to the ZK P2P site. And it was on my page until a second ago, until I just made the update. So it basically indicated like this is what ProveX is based on, and it took you to zkp2p.xyz, which is a protocol that does the things that we're talking about. It's just very unknown. It only does about $5 million a month. Not many people use it. So, and there was a link there, and now it's gone. I wonder what the reason is.
Yeah, it does say at the bottom here, though, built on ZK P2P, trustless peer-to-peer transactions powered by ZK proofs.
Okay, there we go. So like some of the tech here is open source public code. And some of the things he talks about aren't things that ZK P2P does. So I think he's taking known code and he's making it better, just like we've seen him do before.
Yeah. This is gonna be great, bro. Like this because I mean, just seeing Zcash pump that hard, it just shows you how fast a narrative can brew up and come out of nowhere. And
Totally.
now with Zcash doing that, people are now privacy is a narrative. And what do you know? Richard Hart is already at the forefront of it.
Yep. And we're tying into that narrative, which is of interest to everyone. It's a general interest narrative, right? Like if you explain privacy in crypto to people, they all want it, right? So, and some of the people who come to crypto come to it because they think it's private, right? But it's like, yeah, if you're just on a centralized exchange, it's not as private as you think it is. And if your wallet addresses are known, it's definitely not as private as you think it is, which has both upsides and downsides, right? So, being able to verify things on chain is good. But, being able to, like, it's not reasonable. You wouldn't want your bank account balance posted online. Why is your crypto balance posted online? So having those options is great too.
Yeah, for sure. And like the thing too is within like maybe 6-12 months, our banks are going to be begging us to custody our crypto with them to say, hey, I see you got a bunch of whatever coin here. Why don't you custody it with us? Because with all the quantum scares coming, if you hold it on a cold wallet, you're at a severe risk of getting hacked by, the new COVID-26 hacking bot that just got invented by North Korea or whatever bullshit's gonna
totally come. Yeah. And the opposite will be true, right? It's like, yeah, if the bank holds it, they're holding it all in one giant wallet. It's a giant target for hackers, just like exchanges are. You're better off holding your own keys all the time if you understand, right? So literally. I think there's that's definitely coming, and I want it to come. I want banks to be offering people, payouts in crypto. Like, oh, do you want to take out money in cash or in crypto today? All right, like. We are early because I think that is coming. And even if it's, even if they try to take a share of the market away, it's still going to be good overall for the people who are already here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, bro. This is the believer cycle. If you've been here now through the years of just horrible times. And yeah, there's been coins that have done well where you get a pump and make a nice little bit, but for the most part, it's been brutal, and it's got me so desensitized. I'm at the point now where it's like, shit, I'll out hodl anybody. I'll wait till 2050 if I need to. And that's the attitude you got to have. It's stress free, and you add the positions when you can. And if they're worth less and less USD value, who gives a shit? Once the markets turn, and if everything pumps, but the coins we hold, then we screwed up. But if not, then we crushed it.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, bro. So we've been going for holy shit over an hour already. Anything else you feel like you want to talk about, or you think we pretty much covered it for this episode?
Well, I think right now that the ProveX thing was the big thing to talk about on Pulsechain. I'm looking forward to that changing as far as especially the sacrifice portion. So we're well into the sacrifice period. I don't think many more people are selling core coins sacrifice. I think it's designed to be probably a lot of the volume is already there, which is great. So I'll be happy to talk about other things than the sacrifice in the future. But I think ProveX will be a continuous topic of conversation for the next several months at least. It's going to be a big deal. And I think Pulsechain is going to start looking better pretty soon. So as far as my stuff goes, I'm still working on the Vault 369 protocol. And one of the big things that we're going to add on is probably we're going to be able to add ProveX as collateral for stablecoins, meaning people will be able to take loans against that. So similar to Richard's plan for ProveX, we have the token out now. Protocol is just about ready. We have the code done. We're doing internal audits that will be followed by actual external audits. Hoping to have it out by Christmas. But with this kind of stuff, with real money, I just can't rush the devs. We got to make sure it's safe. But so far, so good.
It's awesome, bro. Yeah, you don't have to rush up till Christmas because the last of the sacrifice is until January 9th. So you got at least till a couple weeks after. So maybe you can,
Cool.
stretch it to New Year's or maybe Martin Luther King Day. Who knows?
Well, it's an upgradable liquidity fork, meaning new collaterals can be added. So when I launch, I'm going to launch with Pulse, VPulse, and UPulse will be the day one trio, right? So to be like an upgrade on liquid loans, basically. So you'll be able to put Pulse in, take loans against that, as well as VPulse and UPulse, which are liquid stake Pulse that are redeemable for Pulse. So generally good. I think that VPulse, you'll be able to convert directly via the protocol because that'll be enabled. And then your asset goes up in value versus Pulse, the thing that you're taking a loan against, which I think is going to make for some very interesting strategies. But I want to get that out there because people can use that to not sell their Pulse, right? That's going to be the option. So, and then adding on additional collateral types will be okay, ProveX comes out on January 9th. We'll be able to add it on about 7 days after that. We have to insert a new module and audit it, right? Which is about probably 7 days worth of work. The code is done. It would just be punching in the ProveX contract number, sending it to the auditors, getting the audit back, and then we can be hey, now you can take loans against this, right? So it's not, people ask me all the time, oh, can I insert meme coin number 7042? No, we're probably not going to approve your meme coin. Though there may in the future something that has enough collateral, it has enough liquidity, there could be community tokens involved, right? So that's definitely on the table. But I'm more interested in fancy stuff, being able to take loans against LP tokens or farming tokens. You're farming on PulseX and you take a loan out against your PulseX farm that you can compound into a bigger position on PulseX. That's going to be the V2 add-on. Will be that. The additional collateral types will be things like ProveX that'll probably have $10 million of liquidity pretty quickly. And then other good things that come to the chain that have big liquidity can be added on as collateral. But then the add-ons that we haven't seen on liquidity forks, being able to take a loan out against your LP farm or against a V3 NFT, like a Uniswap NFT. We have 9mm and 9-inch NFTs on Pulsechain. Where you're where that's your liquidity position is represented by that. Like things like that could be used for collateral, which is totally possible, but nobody's really doing it right now.
That's all. Well, that's really sick. That's cool. I really like
Yeah.
that. You haven't using having LPs to put up as collect. That dude, nice job. Well, that's cool.
So, but it takes due diligence and time, right? Like, I probably already lost half the audience with those last couple statements because we're getting into the heavy weird stuff. But like there will be people who roll millions of dollars into things like that if it becomes an option. Because there's gonna be a use case for like, oh, I have a leveraged farm, like I have $10,000 on PulseX farming Inc. I could borrow $5,000, put that back into my PulseX farm, and now I'm farming with $15,000 in the Inc farm instead of $10,000 with the same initial $10,000 investment, right? Getting like 33% more Inc tokens out of the same money. So like there's going to be applications like that a lot of people will be able to get their mind around pretty quickly.
Dude, that's awesome, bro. I'm excited for you. Once people understand it, and once liquidity starts flowing on chain, and once Inc starts to finally accrue value, because I've been buying Inc too, bro. Like that's the one thing. Inc and PulseX are the two. Like I really think Pulse is not going to do nearly as well this cycle. I just think it with the inflation nonstop, because the validators, you just don't have that on PulseX. We're constantly deflating, and I just the value. I just vividly remember the day of swapping all my Pulsechain for PulseX, and every million getting 3.81 million PulseX. And now a million Pulse gets you like 1.4 million PulseX.
Yep. Huge difference.
So I don't see what's going to cause a huge demand for Pulse that is going to outweigh PulseX, Inc, and the hexes. I just don't see it, bro.
Well, I think when everything comes together with ProveX, and everything's connecting on Pulsechain, that every token is going to have its day. And I don't just mean rich or hard tokens. I mean anything with bonded liquidity to Pulsechain stuff is going to look great. And things like PulseX could be some of the big winners, right? Because like if ProveX does what it's supposed to do, it's a centralized exchange killer. It's only going to help the decentralized exchanges. Like we could see huge volume moving through PulseX. I think this month there's like 30 grand or something of PulseX burned. Like it's going to continue like that. And if we get a boom time on Pulsechain, like all the stuff like that with buy and burns is going to start looking hot. Even some of our meme tokens we talk about, PTGC, etc., where it's like there's a buy and burn mechanism, are going to look hot. Our DeFi protocols, right, that like basically don't look very good right now, right? Like you have these forever down tokens because they're attached to like a forever down ecosystem. That changes and it's pumping, they're going to start looking good, right? Like, oh, something's only paying 20% APR right now, but it's paying that APR in a token that's bonded with Pulse, and Pulse does 100x. Well, guess what happens to your APR? Your APR just did 100x, right? It's now paying 2000% APR, right? And then like you're going to get FOMO from all angles, and like it could be a short window of when it hits its top, but like there'll be a time where every eyeball is looking at Pulsechain, where Ethereum's dumping, Bitcoin's dumping, but on Pulsechain you can get 20,000% APR over here. Like where do you think the Ethereum and Bitcoin money is going to go, right? So I do think that day is coming, but like, yeah, I don't have a crystal ball, or it's in the shop right now anyway.
Oh, you got your magic ball behind you in the corner there, so just rub that one. That'll work.
Indeed. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, good stuff, man. Good stream tonight. Hope the 388 people watching right now enjoyed it. If you're not following fast, I mean, most of you guys watching are his subscribers anyway, so I'm sure you all are. But subscribe to him on Twitter, and we will catch you guys next week.
Yeah. We're in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Viber got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on the daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Viber is the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.